So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So in this video we're going to talk about the new rush mechanic, which we finally have more info about. This is the old overview we got of the mechanic a while back. Basically you hit a perfect, then you're able to do rush taps, and at the end of the rush taps you get a finish. What we didn't know then that we do know now is that all of these taps are by the same unit, the unit who has the rush mechanic. So in this case you start with the unit, hit some rush taps, and eventually you lead to a finish. So let's talk about the new Sanji, but let's focus on the actual rush mechanic only. And rush mechanic is a potential ability. This was confirmed after last update, so same as Super Tandem and Final Tap. Can level it up to level 5. And one big question of course is level 1 even usable, or is it only level 5? So let's do some comparisons to level 1, level 5. In the activation requirement we can actually see that it's legit the same activation requirement for level 1 and level 5. And for Super Tandem that's a big thing that changes when you use the Super Tandem mechanic. So that's already a very good start. But what do you get? At level 1 you can get a potential of up to plus 0.4 extra chain and a 1.3 times rush attack boost for strength, dex and quick characters. And if we check out level 5, we can see that instead it's plus 0.8 chain and up to a 2 times rush attack boost for the strength, dex, quick. And that's such a small difference. Like with Super Tandem, level 1 can be like a 0.5 times attack boost, and level 5 can be a 2.5 times, for example. Effects at level 1, HP cost 20,000 every time you hit during the rush, you lose 20,000 HP. You can hit 6 times total, so if you have 120,000 HP you can hit 6 times. Each time you hit you gain plus 0.1 to the chain. We'll see how this works in game later. And then basically there's a lot of weird numbers, but basically this just explains where the rush attack boost comes from. You get 0.5 times attack from your first tap, 0.1 attack from every rush tap after that, and the finish tap gives an extra 0.8. And the total you can get at level 1 is 1.3. So you basically start with max, if I understand it right. You don't really gain any attack from doing the rush, you just gain the chain. And if we look at level 5 instead, in a bit, I had to pre-record this a bit. Instead, 12,500 HP per hit, so you need 105,000 HP to hit 10 times, which is the max. So here instead, the max is up to 2 times, and you basically start with 1.4 times. So if you hit 6 rushes after that, you get the maximum of a 2 times rush attack boost. So not too bad, you need a bit below 100k HP to reach that. And if you hit all 10 rushes, you get an extra plus 1 chain basically. But as I said before, it maxes out at plus 0.8, so you don't really need to hit all the rushes, I guess. But yeah. Here we have the video from JP with the special as well. It's pretty dope. I do want to say that there's still a lot we don't really know about this mechanic. I'm going to end this video talking about that. I'm looking forward to testing it out. But yeah, here we're going to see the rush in question. I forgot to talk about the activation requirement, but basically you can say that this is variation of the first tap mechanic that some people thought could happen, because basically Sanji is required to hit first to get the rush going. Then you need certain units on the team and you need recovery orb and such. But basically you have to hit first, which is why we get the rush from the start. And yeah, we're going to get a lot of chain because Sanji is a very chain focused unit. And as you see, you keep losing 12,500 HP with every hit. And you see that the chain slowly goes up. And when this animation plays, it means you don't have HP left, so you get the finish. As far as I can see, it automatically ends when you don't have enough HP. Let's go over the key parts of this video. Here the rush starts when we tap it Sanji first. Then it looks like the tap on Chopper, so Chopper will be the next unit to hit after the tap finishes. So you start with 5.05 chain, this checks out, Sanji has a 3.25 times chain boundary, plus 1.5 chain boost from special, from superclass, and then first tap is plus 0.3, so start with 5.05, and every subsequent rush tap as plus 0.1. So it keeps going up by plus 0.1 every single tap. I'm actually interested in how hard these taps are, because it says that if you miss a tap, the chain will end, you don't get the finish. So this looks like a bit different than normal taps. So I wonder how hard it is. I wonder if it's just that you have to tap, or something like that. But yeah, went up to pretty good chain, and all that chain is just from Sanji's mechanics, which is pretty dope. One cool thing with Rush Special is that it's a lot more usable than Final Tap and Super Tandem, because if it's basically focusing on hitting first, like you always hit first every content, Final Tap rarely sees use because you rarely hit last, and Super Tandem, you need specific units, you do need it a few times, and like most content you can kill in 1 or 2 hits usually, so it doesn't really end up mattering. But here, just tap first and you get it, so might see some play in different content. And here I just reviewed the info, we know most of this. And yeah, it's like Super Tandem, where if you tap twice, you skip the animation. And here's the thing that most people find interesting, is about Super Tandem and Rush. Do they stack? Some people have read this and said that you can't use both. But all it says really is that if both activate at the same time, you get the Rush, not the Super Tandem. But it doesn't say anything if you activate Rush first and then Super Tandem. So I will assume you can use both, just because otherwise Rush is really bad. It's weaker than Super Tandem, but if you can get Super Tandem and Rush, it's really good and adds a lot to the unit, especially since the first tap is usually useless. Here's a potential team you could do against a Super Boss Kizuna or such. Hit first with Sanji, and then you can still get the Nami Super Tandem, and this is Luffy Yamato Friend Captain, so you can use them for the final taps. You can get all 3 of the whale buffs, so to say. And this covers a lot of stuff. Sanji handles most chain, Zoro does the remaining chains that Sanji doesn't do. If you have all the conditionals, Yamato does the chain attack boost and such, Luffy Yamato or boost. So we'll see if it's possible to use. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.